And I'm going to smile and I'm going to say hello to everyone. My name is Reverend Jerry Hobby. I serve as the spiritual director of Spiritual Enlightenment and Truth Focused Ministry. I'm so grateful to be with you this morning. It's a little foggy where we're at, and let's just see how cold it is. I'm in Northern California and it's 40 degrees today, but the fog is a little thick and dense, and we get to warm the field of life. For me, warming the field, it turned to 39. We went from 40, oh, it went to 37 degrees. It's actually 37 degrees. I thought we were going to get into the 40s, but we get to warm the field of life, and that warming of the field of life is the melting away of the coldness, allowing for the warmth to fill our hearts. And for me, feeling the warmth of the heart has nothing to do with the weather conditions. It is about the choices we make, how we live, and how we integrate in life. So that's the reason we like to come together on the sacred day to just simply relax and anchor in the day and greet it with warmth. So I'm going to invite you to sit with us, to breathe, to anchor in this space of love wherever you're at in the world. So I invite you to just close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Or if you're not in a place where you can close your eyes, I invite you to just quietly soften your gaze. And if you have the capacity, if you're in a safe space where you can just sit and maybe cast your eyes upward, maybe at a 45-degree angle, lifting your heart, lifting your mind. Let's just sit in this silence for a moment. Our reading this morning comes from 365 Days of Richer Living. Daily Inspirations. How to Use Your Mind Power for Successful Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. Today's reading is entitled, There is a Subtle Power Within Me, the Essence of Spirit. We start with some sacred readings. We start with Amos chapter 4, verse 13. For lo, he that formeth the mountain createth the wind, and declareth unto men what is his thought, that maketh the morning darkness, and treadeth upon the high places of the earth. The Lord, the God of hosts, is his name. And from the Mahabharata, it reads, From him is the seed of all things, and it is he that upholds the earth with all her mobile and immobile creatures. And from Raha Yoga, the Atman, real self, is permanent, eternal, therefore existence itself. And the authors write, the great prophet Amos tells us that God of hosts is the name of the power that forms the mountains, creates the winds, and declares its presence in the sanctuary of our own thought. This poetical description of spirit brings a sense of likeness, a peace, and transcendent joy. He seems to have lifted the load of life in his declaration that the Spirit treads upon the high places of the earth. This transcendent thought of God should never be with us, and like Jesus, should ever be with us. And like Jesus, we should walk over the waves of the human disturbances rather than being submerged by them. Again, our lesson tells us that the Atman, which means the real self, is eternal and permanent. And here the text swings into the profound observation that spirit exists within itself. This has a definite meaning in demonstration. Life does not depend upon something outside of itself, but immediately precipitates itself in our experience when we recognize it. It is this divine recognition which gives us transcendent power, and we may rely upon the law for its absolute. Look unto me, and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth. There is a subtle power within me, the essence of spirit. I am sustained, I am guided, I am kept in the way of peace, prosperity, and joy. Every atom of my being is vibrant with life, alive with deathless self-existence. There is something within me today which sings a celestial song, which exalts. This song finds its echo in everything I do, causing the deaf to hear, the blind to see, and awakens the paralysis of fear into life and action. I invite you to breathe those words in right now. We're going to sit in the silence for a bit, just allowing those words to fill us. Just allow for the wisdom to expand itself within our being. Our reading this morning comes from 365 Days of Richer Living Daily Inspirations. How to Use Your Mind Power for Successful Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. Today's reading is entitled, There is a Subtle Power Within Me, the Essence of Spirit. We have 3 sacred readings. The first comes from Amos chapter 4:13. For lo, he that formeth the mountains and createth the wind, and declareth unto man what is his thought, that maketh the morning darkness, and treadeth upon high places of the earth. The Lord, the God of hosts, is his name. And from the Mahabharata, from him is the seed of all things, and it is he that upholds the earth with all her mobile and immobile creatures. And finally, from Raha Yoga, the Atman, the real self, is permanent, eternal, therefore existence itself. The great prophet Amos tells us that the God of hosts is the name of the power that forms the mountains, creates winds, and declares its presence in the sanctuary of our own thought. The poetical description of spirit brings a sense of lightness, a peace, and transcendent joy. He seems to have lifted the load of life in his declaration that the Spirit treads upon the high places of the earth. This transcendent thought of God should ever be with us. And like Jesus, we should walk over the waves of human destruction rather than being submerged by them. Again, our lesson tells us that the Atman, which means the real self, is eternal and permanent. And here the text swings into the profound observation that spirit exists within itself. This has a definite meaning in demonstration. Life does not depend upon something outside of itself, but immediately precipitates itself in our experience when we recognize it. It is the divine recognition which gives us transcendent power, and we may rely upon the law of it, for the law of it is absolute. Look unto me, and ye be saved, all the ends of the earth. So I'm going to invite you right now to unmute yourself. And as you're unmuting yourself today, I'm inviting you also to just move into a sacred space. And that sacred space is an open heart, an open mind. And I'm going to invite you to be intentional. And that intentional, I'm asking you to use your voice to advocate, my words are a little strange this morning, for good. And that avocation for good is God fulfilling itself, acknowledging it, calling to recognition it, and activating it within your personal experience. In other words, what we're doing is we're influencing the chatter all around us. So I'm going to invite you now to repeat after me. And I'm going to invite you to be enthusiastic, animated in your expression right now. Let's just breathe. There is a subtle power within me,
There is a subtle power within me.
The essence of spirit.
The essence of spirit.
I am sustained.
I am sustained.
I am guided.
I am guided.
I am kept in the way of peace, prosperity, and joy.
I am kept in the way of peace, prosperity, and joy.
Every atom of my being is vibrant with life.
Every atom of my being is vibrant with life.
Alive with deathless self existence.
Alive with deathless self-existence.
There is something within me today
There is something within me today
which sings a celestial song,
which sings a celestial song,
which exalts.
which exalts.
This song finds its echo
This song finds its echo
in everything I do,
in everything I do,
causing the deaf to hear,
causing the deaf to hear,
the blind to see,
the blind to see,
and awaken the paralysis of fear into life and action.
and awaken the paralysis of fear into life and action.
And so let's just focus on that life right now that has awakened itself, that has moved beyond the sense of fear, that has moved beyond any sense of limitation right here, right now. And let's just breathe, allowing ourselves to walk upon the waves of life, the waters of life, allowing for that divine presence to elevate itself all the way up into the mountaintops and beyond. Just breathe. And as we're acknowledging all of this, which is all poetic, but allowing these words to expand and reveal itself in a practical way, allowing for the vibration, the velocity of this divine energy to grow. And I speak my word this morning, knowing that this power exists and it fulfills itself within each and every one of us, giving thanks for its fulfillment individually right here, right now, and knowing that our individual experiences are the collective. It is the collective fulfillment. It is the chatter of life expanding and growing. And what I know is that it is the presence of good growing. And so I name it today as the presence of light fulfilled within every atom of our being. I'm calling it perfect health. I'm knowing that that spirit of perfection fills itself and overflows. I'm calling it the presence of creativity in motion and divine fulfillment. I'm calling it the beauty of spirit unified and fulfilled as companionship in great relationships, being in the company of good all the time, and knowing that that good is simply the essence, as Ernest Holmes called it, God and company. Knowing that we're never ever alone, but that we are lifted up to the place of the very Most High. And if it is so in this way, it must fulfill itself as pure abundance, prosperity, knowing that there is nothing lacking within each and every one of us, and that every seeming need is fulfilled. It reveals itself in a practical way right now. It is the comfort. It is the presence. It fulfills itself as the meal. It fulfills itself as the bounty in our circulation of good, that circulation of the blessing within our finances, knowing that the presence is alive. It is the blessing in our transportation. It is the blessing in the circulation, and knowing that that circulation is good, ever expanding, and that that circulation fulfills itself right here, right now, as a mighty blessing. I'm giving thanks for that divine presence, blessing each and every one of our creditors. I'm giving thanks for that circulation as the intention fund within our bank accounts. I'm giving thanks right now for the beauty of spirit revealing itself as joy, as divine inspiration. I give thanks for the fulfillment and the nourishment of our souls. I'm giving thanks for it revealing itself as companionship. I give thanks for it honoring the altar of our being, our body temple, knowing perfect wholeness and divine radiance, expanding and fulfilling itself as health, knowing that health is good, overflowing in our body temples as our altar in this human experience. And I give thanks for the infinite and its variety expressing itself right now. And what I know most of all about it is all a part of the collective. And that collective is the blessing of life revealed and glorified in all of humanity. So wherever I take my attention today, I know that the gift fulfills itself. It blesses everyone. So we greet each other with a smile. We greet each other and we celebrate the blessings, the grace, those things that people call lucky. We know that it is a natural phenomenon of the divine, growing and expressing itself, and we celebrate it. We allow for that good to expand there. And as it expands there, we know it expands right where we are. And so we embrace the good and we give thanks for that good and know that there is no need to take away, for it is our divine right to experience goodness, to share in the bounty, and to live in the overflow. And from this space of sacred awareness this morning, we simply give thanks, we let this be, and we affirm together. And so it is, and now it is.
And now it is.
Amen, amen, and ashe.
Amen, amen, and ashe.
I'm going to open my eyes. I'm going to look into your eyes. I have a special ask today. This meditation was so rich and so good. You know, the thing about life is to remember that we are always abundantly supplied. Unfortunately, in this human existence, sometimes we are dominated by our lack of understanding. Sometimes we are dominated and bombarded with untruths. That is the reason I always like for us to have our Sunday Power Talks. And this Sunday, in our Sunday Power Talk, we're going to be having a conversation about how we treat ourselves, how we treat life, and how we show up for ourselves and how we show up in our existence. So I'm just planting the seed right now. I'm going to invite you to be intentional. And you're intentional I want you to show up and celebrate. I want you to celebrate the gift of freedom. I want you to celebrate the gift of abundance. I want you to celebrate the beauty of spirit naturally unfolding within us. This is how we are able to remove all the craziness in the world. And part of my mission is to support us all in moving beyond the craziness that we hear. We can say that is not true. This is not my truth. I live in a state of abundance, and that abundance is rich and very powerful. It is beyond the richness which appears to be in the world. Because I am not in the world, I can live in the world. But I know that the unlimited riches expand and fulfill itself, and it will outpicture in my life according to my understanding. Come and be in that energy today, this weekend. Come and experience the grace of spirit. I'm so sorry. My family says sometimes she has this thing called holy waters. That's how I learned how to tread upon the waves and not be drowned into the deep waters and the deep throes of life. So I'm inviting you to come and to be in that space this Sunday. I thank you, YouTube. I can't help myself. I'm having one of those days. I send you blessings. Namaste.